Hello, my name is Masa Nakama, and I grew up in Riverside. I grew up with a deaf family, and I want to tell you a story about my favorite hobby, which is watching movies. I've done it my whole life. I love when Mom and Dad are off talking. I could sit and watch the movies and watch the captions and all the action. I just loved it. Two movies that were my favorite were The Goonies, and the second one is Moulin Rouge. So first I'd like to talk about The Goonies. It was an area where kids had their own little group and they were shunned by everyone else. And they were there by a house that they liked to hang around with, and one of the boys needed to save his home. So they decided to find a treasure map. And with this treasure map, they thought, maybe we can find gold or diamonds, a variety of things to help us. And so they followed the map and went through the house and down this treasure map trail. And there were three bad guys that were also in pursuit and chasing them. And that was really enjoyable to watch all that action. And then they finally arrived in a cave, which took them into a pirate ship. So they went in, and that is where they found their treasure. And they had to fight for their treasure to avoid the bad guys. And then they were saved. And they were able to give their treasure to the family and save their home. So that's a movie I really enjoyed, because growing up I felt quite isolated. I wanted to have a good group of deaf friends, people to hang out with, and that's why I really liked that movie. The second movie is Moulin Rouge. The red circle is what it means, and takes place in Paris, France in early 1900s. And the woman in the movie is a prostitute. She dances the cha-cha, you know, that kind of thing. And she thought that the man there was the owner of the facility. And so she would flirt with him. And she found out he's the writer of the plays, not the owner. But she did fall in love with him, but thought, oh no, he's not good enough. And so she met the Duke and realized that he was the one that was the rich owner. And so they had this love triangle going on. But that movie had so much music and so much drama and relations, and it was really fascinating to me. And I enjoyed the music, even though I couldn't hear it because of my deafness. I could read the caption and the lyrics, and they really impacted me. And near the end of the movie, she almost died. She was very ill, and no one knew. And she decided, no, I'm not really in love with the Duke, and moved over to reinstitute her affair with the writer. And he did all he could to take good care of her, but in the end, she died anyway. And really, the power in that movie is that you can love someone, and you lose someone, and you can love again. So that's why I enjoyed it. Yes, you have a question?
You said you related to the Goonies movie because you felt so isolated. Your parents were deaf. You went to the school of the deaf. Why did you feel so isolated?
I did not attend the school for the deaf growing up. I was mainstreamed. My parents were deaf, yes, but my mom thought putting me in an oral program would benefit me. And so we could sign at home and so forth, but learning the oral program would be good. But in school, then I felt isolated because of this.
So you grew up in Riverside where the school for the deaf is, but you didn't go to the school for the deaf?
Riverside is not the town I grew up in. I grew up in Ontario, which is real near Riverside, but no one seems to know where that is, so I just say I'm from Riverside.
When you went to your mainstreamed classes, did you use interpreters?
Yes, I did. I did use an interpreter for English and math subject areas, and then the rest of the day I was with the deaf ed program.
If as an adult you could go back in time, would you go to the mainstream school or a school for the deaf? And why?
So I did grow up mainstreamed, and then in high school I attended the school for the deaf. So I had a good experience either way. If I went back in time and asked my mom to put me in the school for the deaf earlier, that would be a good choice. But because I was there for 2.5 years, it was like I'd been there my whole life. It was good.
Do the movies you love have a more personal, deeper message for you? Why do you relate to them so strongly?
I would say, if you feel shunned, you feel alone, that having a good group of people to be with helps you relate better. So that's why I like Goonies. And then Moulin Rouge, I would say, because even though you love someone and lose someone, you can love again. You can love multiple times in your future. So I like that message.
Do you have any advice for parents with deaf children?
Yes, I would say look at what the program options are available, what could be provided for your child, and focus on your child. Learn sign, learn together. That would be my advice.